There was water in the first mood. The trees were not there.
They are some of Africa's most visited destinations. Slave castles like the one at Cape Coast and Elmina Castle, both here in Ghana. Especially a draw for Afro-North Americans trying to find answers.
All the materials used to build the castle were brought from Europe.
John Adjepong is a Ghanaian who left the country at 16. He now lives in the U.S.
I didn't learn anything about the slave trade when I was here. I went to the U.S. and learned a whole lot about it, and now I'm here to truly experience the pain that so many of our ancestors went through.
His wife had their kids in mind.
I want my children to learn what slavery was all about.
Their son says others in the family have something to learn too.
My mom's dad should have came here because he's really racist to blacks.
The tour takes you on a chilling trip inside the dungeons, where 1,000 at a time were crammed to live on bare floors, nowhere to sleep, no toilets.
Can you imagine women being held there for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months without having a wash? And that's why many died.
Women weren't allowed outside their dungeons, except to be brought to the courtyard, where the castle's governor would have one call to his quarters, or she'd be raped.
Walking all the way down here.
Charles Adu Arhin has told this story hundreds of times over the last 24 years.
If Africans survived, you should remind you how strong Africans were.
As tourists to the castle find out, living conditions for the slaves weren't just poor, they were downright deplorable here. So while 1 million slaves were shipped to America on boats, 300,000 of those died along the way, and thousands more died right here before even making it to the ships. Those who survived being kept in the castle made it to the room of no return. From here, it was to the ships. Adu Arin is retiring as castle administrator in a few days. He says visitors are almost always moved.
The tour I've given all these years, I've changed many lives.
45 minutes after the tour begins, recounting what the African slaves faced, he ends with this.
My grandmother told me that I should always forgive, but never forget.
It's very humbling. I think I'm going to share some of this with some of my friends back home.
Seeing is believing, says Adjepong, though it's hard to believe so many Africans' last memory of their land was a place like this. Sean O'Shea, Global News in Ghana.